Well, thanks for your company. Let's start as government is this afternoon being urged to abandon its intention to win off public universities from its payroll, as it will spell doom for affordability of education. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta yesterday announced the decision to provide such institutions with fixed amounts of block grants in a bid to cut down on public expenditure. This is one of the many measures the minister spelled out as the blueprint for the pathway to economic recovery. Here's a News Desk report.
The cuts were anticipated. Now we know appointees must contribute 30% of their salaries to the consolidated fund, 50% cut in fuel coupon allocations, moratorium on the purchase of imported vehicles and foreign travels, reduction of expenditure on all meetings and conferences by 50%. There's also a 10% cut in discretionary spending. In all, the finance minister expects to save 3.5 billion cedis. Some of these measures were introduced in 2017 by President Akufo-Addo without much success. But Deputy Finance Minister Abena Osasari says this time there will be proper monitoring.
We have car manufacturing companies locally that we believe we can also support by buying locally.
There was also a 15 peso reduction in the price of petrol and diesel. Transport operators say the reduction is woefully inadequate and will be discussing a further increase in fares. Imora Abbas speaks for the GPRTU.
So they will be ungrateful to us. I mean, the 15 pesos is woefully inadequate. We'll have to meet and decide on which way we are going to move.
Government will also borrow $2 billion from mainly international banks and bilateral partners for the economy. The NDC minority in Parliament say the measures will not make the expected impact. Dr. Kaisel Atofosing is ranking member on the Finance Committee.
The minister's speech today was simply empty. In fact, what it's going to do is that it's going to erode all the confidence the central bank brought into the economy after the announcement.
Well, we can now hear from the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as he talked about the public universities.
Supply of fuel and manage the rate of export price increase by ensuring that the Bank of Ghana has access to adequate foreign exchange to support this. Revenue measures. Ladies and gentlemen, be enough. Our focus is therefore twofold: to control expenditure and to raise more revenue domestically. As such, we will therefore begin
Well, we sincerely apologize for playing you the wrong inset, but education think tank Africa Education Watch is warning of dire consequences for affordability of university education. Executive Director Kofi Asari explains why.
It will affect the attainment of these targets and also constrict or restrict access to tertiary education. Why? Because the universities will now have the opportunity to charge realistic fees. And when they charge realistic fees, they will end up increasing the number of students, the percentage of students who are called fee paying. When you have that happen, the meaning is that more and more students who do not have the resources will not be able to enter tertiary education because it becomes, if you like, commodified. And so that is what this particular initiative means for the economy. It's good economically, but for education and for equitable access, it is bad.
Now, economist Professor Peter Korte agrees with Kofi Asari. He tells government, or he's asking government to be cautious.
I think the universities will be very excited about this policy, provided government can really win the investors off its payroll. Because as we speak, the kind of fees we charge are 3-4 years fees we were charging. Anytime you want to charge fees, it has to go to Parliament to approve, and it takes years. Assuming you are using fees you charged 3 years ago to run the university today, how feasible is that? If you look at the exchange rate depreciation, look at the rate of inflation, it is just not feasible. So if we are allowed to charge fees at market rate, then we'll be able to raise enough to pay ourselves to, undertake all the facilities, infrastructure development we have earmarked. However, I can foresee a public outcry. I can foresee students kicking against this market economy-led approach, because if students enjoy free SHS, parents don't pay anything, then they come to the university and they are paying market rate. I believe not everybody can pay. So if we want to do this, then let's think through this carefully. Let's carry out a study to ascertain how it can be effectively done. If there's going to be some loan scheme or scholarship scheme to absorb those who cannot pay, let's have a discussion. Let's have a discourse on this. Get a report. Then when we roll it out, we will not withdraw, but rather we will implement this to the latter.
Well, we'll stay with the subject a while longer because Deputy Ranking Member of Parliament's Education Committee, Dr. Clement Apak, is also sharing the concerns by Professor Korte.
I find it worrisome because I fail to understand why a country whose citizens are currently undergoing the level of hardships that we are facing are being told that government is going to de-subvent public universities. You must remember that university education is not free. The only reason why the fees that students pay to go to university is at least within range for the average student from your average background is largely because of government subvention. So if this proposal that government is making, which I totally disagree with, were to become a reality, what this would mean is that the universities would then have to find their own ways of generating enough resources to, for example, pay lecturers and other non-teaching staff at the universities. And if this is to happen, naturally, consequentially, the universities would then have to charge students the fees that would allow them to survive in the absence of government subvention. So the implications are very far-reaching and potentially dire in determining who can afford university education in Ghana.
Well, the General Secretary of the Ghana Union of Ghana Students says that the student body is opposed to this latest move.
If
it will affect the attainment of these targets and also constrict or restrict access to tertiary education. Why? Because the universities will now have the opportunity to charge realistic fees. And when they charge realistic fees, they will end up increasing the number of students, the percentage of students who are called fee-paying.
Apologies for the technical hitches that we're experiencing this afternoon, but we'll bring you that of nukes a bit later. Let's now hear from ordinary students who are already dreading the impact.
If it's being transferred to we the students to make the full payment, it's going to cause a lot of harm, you understand, because we believe even in the SHS, they are being given free education and the rest. So what about we? In the advanced worlds there, this is the part of the education where students are even being paid to offer the researches they are doing. But here we are doing it on our own strength.
I would like to see that government should consider their decision and then make it in such a way that it will benefit all of us, because some of us are coming from poor homes, and once they increase the amount, it's not all of us that will pay, so they should consider that. That's what I'll say.
It is done. A lot of people will have to drop out of school since they can't afford. Yes, and it will affect us negatively.
Now, the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, has assured families of the death of 2 persons on March 17 as a result of alleged indiscriminate shooting of fairness, transparency and justice. Dr. bin Saleh, who was at the homes of the 2 victims of the act, and also some 3 injured persons, of the acts that injured some 3 persons and destroyed the windscreens of an articulated trailer to commiserate with them, stated that the appropriate authorities have kick-started investigation, which will be followed by prosecutions.
Exactly a week after the suspected 61-year-old gunman, Alhaji Yunusa Abdurrahman, opened fire on a busy street in Wa, killing 2 persons, injuring 3 persons, and destroying the windscreen of an articulated trailer, families of the affected are still grieving. Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, deeply touched by the plight of the grieving families and the injured, joined shoulder to shoulder with them in this trying moment.
What happened was unfortunate. It was not pleasant. And for me, the deceased, who was known personally to me, is a great loss. He's a friend and a brother. And his demise is really a great loss, not only to me as a person, but to the entire region.
Dr. bin Saleh assured them of not only justice delivered to them, but also to be transparent as well.
That we will do whatever we can in our position to ensure that justice is served. Nobody will be shelved. The right things will be done. Already, the appropriate state institutions have kickstarted investigation, and once investigations are concluded, the necessary prosecutions will take place. Nothing will be hidden from the family. Nothing will be hidden from the good people of this country.
The pain of loss hangs over the families, considering the stature of the people in society. In former retired lecturer and father of 3, Stephen Lanton Mane, the boy left, according to family spokesperson Samane, is irreplaceable.
That we are of heavy hearts. We are shocked to our bones. It is difficult. It's not easy, because the position of our brother, our father, to the family and to the entire village is something irreplaceable.
They believe that it's God that gives and takes, but not in a manner his life was snapped off from him like a candle in the wind. They sometimes question their belief.
We at a point consult ourselves with the words of God. God has given, God has taken. That is just what we sometimes use to console ourselves. Even with that, we still ask questions on it. Is that the way God should take?
Reiterated their call for justice to the minister.
We want to tell you that we don't need any other thing than justice. And we will want this case to speed it up. We don't want the go and come. It loses confidence in people.
The suspected gunman, Alhaji Yunus Abdurrahman, will appear before the war magistrate on Friday, March 25. The daylight laconic bravery displayed by the suspected killer is arguably unprecedented in the region's history. His second victim of the deadly attack, 45-year-old father of 10, Idris Hassan, died less than 24 hours at the Upper Regional Hospital after he sustained gunshot wounds. His family members at Bamau are in pensive mood. You have really wiped away our tears. His immediate junior brother, Alassane Dauda, told the minister. The only thing we can do for our departed brother is to pray for him, but the rest is left unto you to do the needful. He added. The horror of the indiscriminate shooting has touched every corner of the region, but in Kabaye, a suburb of Wa, they carry the additional scar that the man.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has described as distressing the refusal by some doctors and dentists to accept postings to deprived areas of the country. He said the development is hampering effective healthcare delivery in such areas. Addressing the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the University of Ghana Medical School, the president said whilst government works to improve conditions in such areas, it is incumbent on medical professionals to adhere to their oaths and accept postings to such areas.
Schools have got a good reputation and have been training good doctors and dentists who find work with some ease in all parts of the world. But the doctor-dentist population ratio in our country still remains unsatisfactory after 65 years of nationhood. We currently do not have the right numbers of doctors, dentists, and healthcare professionals with the right mix of skills and expertise in our regions, districts, and deprived communities, especially for the newly created regions and districts. The news of doctors refusing postings to these areas is thus particularly distressing. I encourage all medical practitioners to follow the worthy example of your great forebears, like Dr. Charles Eastman, Dr. Evans Zamfon, and their likes, who readily accepted postings in their early years at a time when the national infrastructure was even more harrowing than it is today.
The president also reiterated his commitment to complete the Agenda 111 hospital projects before leaving office.
Government's commitment to improving our healthcare delivery system is evident in the Agenda 111 initiative. This project will provide 101 standard 100-bed district hospitals with accommodation for doctors and nurses in districts without district hospitals. 6 new regional hospitals for each of the 6 new regions. Rehabilitate the Afia Nkwanta Hospital in the Western region. 1 new regional hospital for the Western region. And 3 psychiatric hospitals for each of the 3 zones of the country. That is the North, Middle, and Coastal. And the entire package at an estimated cost of $1.765 billion United States dollars. Such a development will help make Ghana a center of medical excellence and a preferred destination for medical tourism in West Africa.
And that's President Akufo-Addo there. Presidential correspondent Elton Brobe joins us on the telephone line with more. Elton, I understand the Vice Chancellor raised some issues about inadequate infrastructure at the medical school. What was the President's reaction?
So the President said that he's working with the Ministry of Education to take a look at the University of Ghana Medical School block, which is 60 years old, and he will make funds available depending on the outcome of the proposal that has been put before them. He will make funds available for them to expand the medical training school to ensure that they are able to admit more students to pursue medicine and other related courses. Because for him, the ratio, the doctor-patient ratio in the country is widening by the day. A lack of access is hampering the University of Ghana from, admitting more students to pursue medicine. And for that reason, he's working with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, regarding the proposal, and government will make funds available in the face of difficulties the economy is facing to ensure that the accommodation, the lecture theatres are expanded so that more people can gain admission to pursue medicine.
And Elton, that's not all the president is up to today. There's an ECOWAS summit that he will be opening later today. Tell us more about that.
So, Marvin, this has delayed a bit. I mean, the advertised time was 11 a.m. Now we have been told that the meeting will start at 2 p.m. and most of the foreign dignitaries are yet to arrive in the country. Now, this will be the first time all member states will be meeting here in Accra to take a look at several issues before them. Of particular importance is the unrest in Guinea-Bissau, Mali, and the other countries in the sub-region. And they will be expecting to hear a report from Goodluck Jonathan, the former president of Nigeria, and Ghana's foreign minister. And that will form the basis for the discussions here at the ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit, after which they will take a firm decision regarding these issues going forward. Mamaji.
Here, that's Elton Brobe, our presidential correspondent. Let's take you now to Parliament, where the Majority Chief Whip, Frank Anodompre, has been delivering the business statement for next week. And among the items is a message on the state of the nation by President Akufo-Addo. Parker Wilson is joining us with more from Parliament. Parker, what are the items contained in this business statement? I did mention a while ago that the State of the Nation address finally will be read. Hello, Parker, if you can hear me. I'm afraid we seem to have lost our parliamentary correspondent, Kwesi Parker Wilson, on the line. Well, we have him back. Parker, if you can hear me, I'm asking for you to expand on that agenda for next week, because the State of the Nation address, it looks like will finally be read.
Yes, so the President of the Republic, Nana Addo, is finally set to appear before the House, Parliament, to deliver a message on the state of the nation. And this was confirmed to me actually by the Deputy Whip, Habib Idrisi, yesterday, and today on the business statement for next week, as has been the practice of the House every year or every weekend. The Majority Chief Whip, Frank Anodompre, confirmed that the President will be coming. All arrangements are set. The police, ECG, Ghana Fire Service are ready for the President, including the members of Parliament. And one other thing is about the Boko disturbances. The three security ministers, that is the National Security Minister, the Interior Minister, the Defense Minister, have all been summoned to the House next week to come and brief members on the disturbances there and what they are doing to ensure that there is calm and then they reduce the tension in the area. So these three ministers are expected to come to the House next week. And I must say that the Lands and Natural Resources Minister too has been programmed to be in the House to update the MPs. You know, the fight against illegal mining has been something on the heart of many Ghanaians on how we do with Galamsey. And so the minister will appear next week to come and deal with Galamsey. But Mamavi, you know, today is a big day for the Black Stars. And I must say that members of Parliament are in high spirits. This morning, the Member of Parliament for Toron, Habib Idris, raised the matter on the floor as a public agency matter, asking the members of Parliament to rally support behind the Black Stars. But there are those who are a bit skeptical about the victory of the Stars. And the MP is there with me, briefly said, that those who are skeptical about the victory of the Black Stars tonight. You raised the matter. You underscore the relevance of this game to the members of Parliament. What do you say to those who are skeptical about it, the critics of the Black Stars?
Yes, like any other tournament, people might undermine the Black Star, but the spirit of the country is behind them. The spirit of members of parliament are behind them. And we have to support them. They are going to be in the JC of Ghana. And for that matter, we need to support them for a victory. I have already said it on the floor of parliament that this game is very important and crucial for this nation as we rally and we come together. Soccer or football is the only time that we come together as a nation. Right. It doesn't have any political color. We only have Ghana. And for that matter, I have predicted that the Black Stars should be able to score by 3 goals to nil.
That is your prediction,
That's
3-0?
my prediction. And then when we go to, then that means that we have finished.
Feasible?
Yeah, it's very possible. Because if you look at our players, you see, people are trying to underscore the players or the kind of players that we have. And for that fact that the coach has just been brought in. But the coach is also a top-class coach, the second assistant coach of Dortmund. He is highly experienced. The other coach, who is also in the supporting one, has coached Crystal Palace and, Watford. They are experienced coach. And when you look at the legs that are going to be played today, referring to the players, they are very experienced and they are very patriotic. You see Thomas Partey of Arsenal now, for 3 consecutive matches that Arsenal have played, he has been the best player. So I am very convinced that they will come together, and when they wear the jersey, the Black Star will be behind them, and the spirit of the nation will rally behind them, and we'll all be there to support them. At the moment, the stadium, all the tickets are sold out. Electronic ticket or whatever ticket you have, the park is going to be full to capacity. And we are very happy because the sports minister has actually been able to work hard to make sure that when the venue was moved from Cape Coast and now to make sure that it goes to Ashanti region, and the support base there is very hard. I am very driven by the spirit of the sports minister. He's very determined and he's very anxious, and he's ready to deliver. And we will make sure that it happens.
Mati, so Mamavi, those are the words of the Member of Parliament for Tolon, and of course, most of the MPs in the chamber today. Black Stars, they are solidly behind the Black Stars, and they are wishing that they win 3-0 against the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Well, that's good to know. Kwesi Parker-Wilson there reporting from Parliament. MPs also obviously interested in today's big match. Well, let's cross over to the venue of that game because the Black Stars jerseys, we understand, fast selling in Kumasi. Nanaya Ojima has more in the following report.
God is Good Sportswear is one of the vibrant wholesale sports shops in Kumasi. During the African Cup of Nations 2021, the business stocked over 1,000 pieces of Black Stars replica jerseys with the hope of making good sales, but they were left disappointed. Shop owner Emmanuel Ousu is however overwhelmed by the current show of support for the Black Stars, which translates into purchase of jerseys and paraphernalia.
Even the yellow ones, which are not liked by many, are being accepted. For the white ones, they are almost finished. Moving the game to Kumasi has helped us.
Prices no. Original no, yeah, they give 50. This year should took us at least 80 cities.
Then thank God football have bring us together once again to show who is the king.
Captain of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Ahmed Musa, admits the clash, nicknamed Jollof Derby, is more than a football match.
It's about politics, Nigeria-Ghana. It's about the jollof that you just mentioned, Nigeria-Ghana. About music, acting.
What he said, you have fufu and you have eba. Which one people will taste very well? So it's like Ghana go to World Cup or Nigeria go to World Cup. Everybody wish in this West Africa that 2 of them go, but it come to a situation that 1 of them have to drop. And we are not going to drop, they have to drop, so they know it. And
former captain of the Black Stars, Sami Osei-Kuffour, will rate the game as one of the biggest games on the African soil.
I quite remember we have a game in Nigeria whereby Abedi Pele wasn't even in the team, but we put his name in the team sheet. And his name come on the, the scoreboard. So was a bit confused for the Nigerians. And by the time that they realized that he's not part of the team, they have already thinking about him, how to play against him and leave Odate Lamte and Tony Abuas.
Well, Nanaya Ojima's report is obviously more than football tonight, and as Menu has been engaging some fans here in Accra.
Win, why not?
You sure?
100%.
Hey, you gave him a why?
Gave him pass. Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria there. It's not about form. It's not about the number of players you have playing abroad and all that. No.
But I mean, you've seen the players, the caliber of players they have.
Yes.
And you've seen our lineup.
Of course, it doesn't matter. You see, when you look at their midfield, nobody is better than Partey. So, for the midfield, we've conquered there. And then an attack, maybe you have some slight. I don't think our attackers are at par with the Nigerians, but still, I mean, you're going to score them.
So what's the score?
3-0.
Hey,
of course.
You are so confident.
Yes.
Well, is it a Babaya thing, or you just think that we have a good team?
That one might contribute, let's say 40% of, but the players, the quality we have, I'm sure we will win. Yes.
Oh, if you score you like 4, for a normal 4 save, Charlie. If we score you like 8 save.
Hey.
Oh. But when a team no good eh.
The team no good.
Pastor, if we score you like 4.
Well, Muftau Abdullahi Nabila will join me a bit later for more on this big clash tonight. But let's get into our Ghana Month series. The Bono East region boasts of several tourist attractions, including the Kintampo Waterfalls, the Boyem Bats Cave, the Boabeng Monkey Sanctuary, amongst others. However, little is known of Kunsu, a community rich in important historical landmarks. As part of our Ghana Man series, my colleague Anas Sabit paid a visit to the Kunsu community.
Kunsu is a predominantly farming community here in the Kintampo North municipality of the Bono East region. The community is one of the key traditional towns in the area and is noted for its rich but unharnessed ecotourism potentials. History has it that Kunsu served as the center of slave trade in the then Gold Coast, with some of the slave market structures still in existence. Where I'm standing now is called Mraiso. Of course, the people here say this used to be a slave market in the 18th century. You see this fencing, of course, this is the entrance into this market that served that particular purpose. And after they are assembled here, the trading activity goes on before some are dispatched through Abase, some through Bonomanso, and then they end up at the coastal areas before they find themselves onto the sea and then to the other parts of the world. We're telling you this rich history today as part of the Ghana Man series. Join us as we do this together.
Kunsu was a triangular area. From far north, the slaves were captured, brought here.
Nana Osahene Kweku Cranton II is the chief of Kunsu. He shares with me what happens next after the trading of these slaves here at the Mraiso market.
Those who came here, they were transported, some to Abasi, to Kumasi, some from here to Maso. So we have two posts, Maso and Abasi. But the general station was here.
So historically, this rocky mountain here called Bojama is where the slaves, after the slave trade, are being kept temporarily before they are being, moved to either Bonomanso or through Abasi and then on their way to the coastal areas.
All the slaves captured were kept in the that Bojama and the rock. Then Europeans, they came and then took them some away. But since they were working, when they get to Maso, they lodge there for a time. Then they continue. Those who will also go to Abasi, Abasi, and then that area, then they also go to Kumasi.
These beautiful rocky mountains, according to the people here, is a very rich tourist attraction site because of the roles it played in the past. Joshua Onyang Konton is a resident here.
It's a very, very tourist attraction indeed. It's a history, in fact, our fathers, our grandfathers suffered a lot.
This same rock serves as a hiding point for children and women And of course, during war periods, they hide the children and the women here from harm. And that is how come they call it Boa Jama, meaning a Boa, a Jama.
During the time of the slavery trade, when our ancestors were for war, they would go and keep the women and the children at that hilltop there. Now you call it Oboa or Jimba. Because you can't climb the mountain. You can't, the Oboa or Jimba. So you can never go to, if you are from 20 miles away, they will see you. And you can't climb it too. That's Bojama, that's Oboa or Jimba, the meaning, Oboa or Jimba. So our ancestors go and, and fight for their peace.
For Nana Osahene Kweku Cranton II, if measures are not taken to help develop the site as well as document this history, it will fade away with time.
See, my senior chiefs, my uncles, and most of them were illiterates. But me, as a little educated, I've tried to sell it out. And every gathering, and whoever cares, comes to me, and I just tell them the story. You see, right now, the market center, slave market, is depleting because people have cut almost all the trees. We have got a big bubble tree with carrots, everything around. They've sold them all. And one of my reports, I said that it's going to generate funds even for the municipal assembly at Kintampo. If they're able to manufacture, help it, to develop it well, it will be one of the best tourist areas within the area. But they tell the news, they go and nothing comes in.
So for our Ghana Man series today, this is Kunsu, a community from the Kintampo South municipality of the Bono East region. My name is Anna Sabit reporting for Joy News.
You're watching Joy News today. When we come back, sports and more about the Black Stars and the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Before we do sports, let's do some business now with me, Beverly Broom. The multiple trade agreement between members of the African Union and other countries outside the continent could be a setback to the success of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. This is according to trade analyst Dr. Yao Graham, who is the coordinator for Third World Network Africa. He was speaking at the UPSA Law School Trade Roundtable program.
The roundtable discussed the value chain difficulties expected to affect the implementation of the Continental Free Trade Agreement. The trade analyst and coordinator for the Third World Network believes that despite the free trade agreement being a good deal, other agreements signed between member countries and non-African countries presents a challenge to the continent. Dr. Graham was speaking at the UPSA Law School Africa Trade Roundtable program.
But the consumer must have a job. The consumer must have an income. So if you have a liberalization strategy which does not support the building of African enterprise, African capital accumulation, African job creation, you actually can be improving the conditions under which foreign firms increase their profits across the African economy and export value out of the economy rather than facilitating capital accumulation and economic expansion in Africa.
Speaking at the same program on the theme African Continental Free Trade Agreement, the Environment and Sustainable Value Chains, Chief Technical Advisor at the AFCFTA Secretariat, Prudence Sebahizi, assured that the benefits of AFCFTA will overcome other petty trade agreements.
One, we have resources. Africa is rich in resources. We have human capital. When you look at the labor in Africa, we are the best in terms of the youngest population in the world. Then when you look at the size of the market itself compared to other parts of the world, we are likely to be the biggest market. The same way China, India. So if Africa's countries come together, we do not need to rely on the rest of the world. We can develop on our own. So after we'll bring in to aspect one, to consolidate that market of all 55 countries in one market, which now account for more than 1.3 billion people, with, of course, a growing GDP.
With support from the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, the law school is confident that the event will serve as an educational platform for many stakeholders.
The euphoria around the clash between the senior national team, the Black Stars, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria is high in Kumasi. Economic activities around the Baba Yara Sports Stadium are on the boom ahead of the epic clash. Love FM's Emmanuel Bright Kwaku engaged some vendors around the stadium.
The first about 1 hour near, but 1 hour near. $4 point something.
I have earned about 450 Ghana cedis since I came here an hour ago. There are a lot of people here to patronize these paraphernalia. Business has been good since morning, but some people are complaining about their inability to obtain tickets, and that is preventing some people from buying.
It's in our hand to just be 2 million, we 1.5.
Business here is going on so well, unlike other places.
So economic activities around the Baba Yara Sports Stadium is on a gradual boom as the senior national team Black Stars faces off with the Super Eagles of Nigeria tomorrow. The vendors over here are even positive of a better market tomorrow. They are, however, questioning an increase of prices on these paraphernalia. Well, I just got mine. Go get yours to support the Black Stars win tomorrow. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kuku.
That'll be all for business. For more news, kindly log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Up next is sports.
Let's do sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftaru Nabila Abda. We are just a couple of hours away to the big kick-off, a World Cup qualifier between the Black Stars and the Super Eagles. Head coach of the senior national team, Otto Addo, has been speaking about how Ghanaians are skeptical because of the team's performance in this year's African Cup of Nations. While skipper of the team, Thomas Partey, says they are committed to giving their all in the tie.
Football fans in Kumasi were in a static mood before the final training session of the Black Stars ahead of the game against the Super Eagles of Nigeria on Friday. The team, led by former midfielder Otto Addo, has been training in Kumasi since Tuesday as they fine-tune preparations for the big game against their sworn rivals. Head coach of the four-time African champions, Otto Addo, says despite the skepticism among Ghanaians, the team will not disappoint in Kumasi.
That people are skeptical because of the let's say the last bad tournament, so it's normal. But you know, where there's skepticism, there's a chance, and this skepticism, which was among the press or among a lot of people, made us actually work harder. So we have a plan. This is for sure. For sure, I can't tell the plan right now. You have to play the game, and then everybody hopefully will see. But football is football. You can play good, you can still lose. You can play bad, you can win. So first of all, me and the coaching staff, so we worked hard. The players worked hard to bring the plan on the pitch. and to make a high probability that we win. And we are very, very conscious about this.
Skipper of the side, Thomas Partey, says the players will give everything on the pitch after their disappointing campaign in the 2021 African Cup of Nations.
At the AFCON, we didn't, have much time. We were going to a tournament. This is not just a 2 game. So it's different. Now we have an opportunity to qualify to World Cup. We are going to face a great opponent with quality players. And we believe in each other. We're working hard. We did our best. As coach said, we have a plan that we want to, play as a team. We want to, develop this team to be able to achieve greater things. So this is what we want to do. We concentrate in this game. We try to do our best. Everyone that will be on the pitch will give their 100% or 200%. And at the end, what will happen, we have to be grateful for whatever we did.
The second leg of the World Cup playoff will come off at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja on March 29.
Now, let's hear from the head coach of Nigeria, Augustine Eguavoen. He's been speaking about the absence of Leicester's midfielder, Wilfred Ndidi. He says despite the unavailability of the star man of the team, he's very confident they are ready to compete against the Black Stars. Whilst captain of the team, Ahmed Misa, says their presence in Ghana is to secure qualification to the World Cup.
You see, we are blessed, likewise Ghana, with an array of stars. So anybody that has a chance to play for Nigeria or coach Nigeria will see it as a privilege and not a right. So Innocent Bonke coming in to replace Wilfred Ndidi, that does not tell you that he will start tomorrow. We have a lot of players. We came in with 24 players. And tonight we have the starters in our chest. We can't tell you if Innocent Bonke is starting or not, but the good thing is he's got talent, he's playing well, week in, week out in his club in France. So we're happy and very ready to go.
My mission here is to qualify to World Cup and start here from tomorrow to get the ticket here at home in Ghana before going back to Abuja. And inshallah, I know that with the quality of boys that we have in the team, we can do that. As a player, going to the World Cup is one of the best tournaments that every player want to play. So it's not only for me. We have a young boys that didn't participate in the World Cup in Russia or Brazil. So this is another good opportunity for us. So not for only me, for all the country. We know what World Cup means for every country. So inshallah, we'll do all our best to get the ticket.
We've got live commentary of that game on Joy 99.7 FM. George Ade Jr. and Gary Alsman will be standing by the Bawaya Sports Stadium to bring you the commentary. And you can follow all our coverage on all our social handles. And this is brought to you by Qatar Airwaves, Going Places Together, KFC. It is Finger Licking Good, Airtel Sika Coco Bundle. They say life is simple. Azar Paint, #1 from Azar Group since 1992, and 10Bet for the better. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullah. You can head on to myjournalline.com and read some more sports stories.
Time now for Showbiz. My name is KMJ. Now, the VGMA's controversies continue to linger on. Of course, artists believing that they deserve some categories that they were not nominated for. Speaking on Daybreak Hits, Famiye still insists he was supposed to be in the Artist of the Year category. This is Famiye.
With them, but for the Artist of the Year, everyone knows I was supposed to be nominated there. Even if I was not going to win, I was supposed to be nominated there. Because looking at the year under review, what it takes to be there. Last year I did so much work, international shows, hit songs, and I was everywhere. Peter tried. You understand? I did my best, and I had 5 nominations. So if I don't qualify to be there, I think most of the artists who qualify for the Artist of the Year were also not supposed to be there, because some equally had just 5 nominations, just as I had.
And that's Familia speaking on Daybreak Hit earlier this morning on VGMA's nomination. In a related story, Joyce Blessing, gospel musician, has also stated that she's yet to also head back at Charterhouse for their inability to nominate her for the Gospel Artist of the Year after they nominated her for the Gospel Song of the Year. Here is Joyce Blessing.
So if you do not respect what you have and put value on what you have, you will not see the right, you will not see the need to perpetuate it. So I think it's the value that we place on our culture, the pride that we have about who we are as Ghanaians. I mean, you are a global citizen, you're part of the world at large. That's why we speak English, because we need to communicate with the world at large.
Sincerely apologize for that. We are not able to bring you that video, but we're definitely going to bring that in our subsequent bulletins. My name is KMJ. That will be all for Showbiz. For more news, log on to www.myjoyonline.com.
Thank you very much, KMJ. And you can catch Joyce Blessing's reaction on myjoyonline.com. Indeed, that will be it for Joy News today. Thank you so much for your company. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. On behalf of the production team, we thank you for your company this afternoon.